Hey, my name's Ciera, and I want to welcome you to Ciera Talks. This is my podcast where I just talk about things, whether it's books, movies, television, music, cooking, baking, history, just random things that I like and care about. And I'm here to keep you company while you're cooking or cleaning or working out, doing your homework, painting. Who knows? What are you doing? What are you up to? Or you might not be doing anything. You just want to listen to something. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hi. Oh my goodness. It's taken me so much to get here. The struggle. Um, the original program I was recording on didn't want to let me record with a guest, and I was like, but I want to talk to my friends. Like talking to myself and my computer is fine, honestly, but also like I like to bounce ideas off of people because I'm like human and stuff. So I was just like, oh, I want to record with my friends. And it took me so long to find the program that I'm using now. So I'm so happy. Okay, but this is by myself. So said all of that just to say, I'm here. It's me, standing in need of prayer. Okay, I'm going to be answering a question from one of my sweet little baby mutuals on Tumblr. Um, and yeah, if you have like a question or an opinion or a theory, you can message me on Tumblr. My asks are open. Um, be normal about it if you do choose to say something to me. Like, I'm just a silly, goofy girl here for a silly, goofy time. Um, I'm pretty normal about Interview with a Vampire, as normal as I can be about something that I'm not normal about. Now, the bear, we'll see. What are your opinions? Season 2, Richie. Like, let's really get into that because I feel like enough people aren't really looking at like the big picture here. But that's not what this is about. Okay, but yeah, if you have a question or a theory or something, just send it to me on my Tumblr, Beauty in Diversity. That's been my name for like over a decade now. And I'll link it, of course, because like we're on the internet, so that makes sense. Okay, the question. Do you think Armand messed with Louis's memories, manipulated them so Louis doesn't remember that he, Armand, is complicit in Claudia's death? Because why would Louis I love reading I love reading what other people say in my voice. Because why would Louis be in a relationship for 77 years with a murderer of the person who meant the most to him after he lost his human family? He could also be protecting Louis, whose mental health was clearly fractured after betraying Lestat. But I remember from the movie version, because I haven't read the books, that Armand desperately wanted Louis to be his companion. Immortality isn't what it's cracked up to be. Come on, somebody. Living for centuries must make one lonely and bored after the first 100 or 2, even if one is part of a coven. Therefore, I think Armand is afraid of losing Louis and would do whatever it takes to keep him by his side, even if it means tampering with his memory. You saw what he did to Daniel during the interview. Armand is scary, three exclamation points. I love him though, and I love him and Louis together, but what are your theories? Well, I have a lot of theories. I have a lot of thoughts and opinions and theories. I don't know. I honestly do think that Louis is so traumatized and he has naturally forgotten some things. But I also definitely think that he asked Armand, he was like, I have to make a decision. This is just theories. This is really just me thinking, theorizing. I think he asked Armand to like, I guess I want to be happy. And this is what my life is now. So get rid of the things that I don't want. And it's so crazy because it's like, well, why would he ask for that? And it's like, because trauma, like no one wants to remember all of their traumatic things. And honestly, like as a girl who consistently turns her brain off, if I could have someone come in and like wipe out the traumatic parts, come do that. Clean it up. I don't want it. I don't want to remember. And then, like, your brain, I think, kind of naturally does that. And I said this in another episode, like, I have some trauma, and there are some things that my brain does not, I like, okay, I found out years ago when you get blackout drunk, you're not forgetting, your brain isn't making memories. And I was like, oh, that's scary. Don't do that. Don't get blackout drunk, guys. Like, be safe. But your brain is just not making memories. And I think trauma kind of has the same effect where your brain is like, well, this is not going to help her in any way. So we're going to move this. We're going to live through this because we have no choice. But remember it? Oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm good. And it's like, thank you, brain. I love you so much. Forget some other things, but like the really traumatic stuff, take that out, baby girl. I don't need it. It's not necessary. And I think that's kind of what Louis did. He was like, hey, because I'm trying not to be so spoilery. I'm so bad. Because so many people in this fandom have read the books, have watched the movie. But what if there are people who haven't? They just were like, oh, a black vampire. I'm going to watch a show. I don't want to like spoil things for people. Ah, in my other episode that I did with Indy, I have to listen to it again because there's so many things we say, and then we're like, oh wait, what if people haven't seen or watched or read? Like, what if they haven't, and what if they don't know? So yeah, but yeah, like I think Louis is like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I know what the ending is, but I don't want to be thinking about it all the time because of things that transpired. I would not want that constantly on my mind. That's not for me. That's not for me. That's not my portion. I don't want that in my life. But yeah, so I think Louis asked Armand to take some things out. Cause like, why would you want to remember that? Okay, now I want to get into episode 8. Yeah, episode 8. This is the episode where I talk about the first episode of season 2. First of all, round of applause. Beautiful young lady, talented young lady. We love Delaney. We also love Bailey Bass. It's not weird. Like it's a job. Like it's a job. I Delaney's so good. And like I'm just such a Claudia girl, and I think Claudia deserves the world. And I'm glad she killed that man. I support her rights and her wrongs, and her wrong wasn't even that wrong. Like, we're in an abusive household, we got to get out. You're not gonna do it, so I'll do it. Like, she's a hero. She's literally a hero, but whatever. Delaney is so good, and I love her little accent, and she's just adorable and such an impressive actress. I just think she's just very impressive. Everyone who's on the show is really good, and like shout out to the casting director, like whoever is the head of casting. Wow, whoever is making the decisions for casting, you're doing such a good job, and I love you and thank you so much. But yeah, Delaney is her. And then Jacob Anderson, Louis, my son. I love Louis. That is my son. That is my child. Is he old enough to be my great great grandfather? Great. He's old enough to be my ancestor. I don't care. That's my son. That's my baby. He can do no wrong. He's perfect. He's perfect. He's fine. It's fine. And this was such a Claudia episode. Just her trying to find other vampires because she knows that they exist. She's like, we're not the only ones out there. And seeing her get so worn down and beaten down and starting to lose hope. We really went through so much with Claudia, but also the episode as a whole was so one of my favorite episodes of the series. So freaking good, so deeply. I don't care. The Walking Dead coded. I was like, oh, this is fun. We in the woods. Like we're getting jumped by other vampires because the revenants. I wanted to see how they were going to handle the revenants because in the book it was it's kind of hazy because I only read the book once because yeah, only read the book once. And I remember being like, first of all, I didn't like The Anne was like, those Eastern European vampires are all malnourished and da 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 and brainless and dirty and zombies. And I was like, okay, all right. Like, okay, Anne, you letting some stuff out now. Watch your mouth. But I loved how they did the Revenants. And I said, I think I said in the last episode, The Walking Dead was my show. That was my stuff. I love it to this day. Seasons like 1 through 6. Love it down. 6, 7, can't remember. But there's a point where I was like, okay, I'm out. But when they're in the woods and Claudia's talking to the Revenant and she like, baby, we don't want him. Like, we broke his leg for you. Because they found like a soldier, I guess, and broke his leg and left him out as live bait. I said, the vampires are hunting. We love this. They broke his leg and left him out for the Revenant to come get him. And he came out because, like, he's way more animalistic than Louis and Claudia. And Claudia's trying to talk to him. And his face, that makeup was so good. Oh, he looks so just monstrous. Like, like the Anne Rice vampires and most vampires are like beautiful and just ethereal and gorgeous and otherworldly beauty and da 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 da. He was like, I am a monster. I like a raw monster. Like, he's scary. And Louis said he looked like a catfish with teeth. And it's like, wait till you find out that some catfish have teeth. Like, sorry, Louis, like, jump scare. Like, yeah, some catfish have teeth, and I think that's very disturbing. And I was going to go on a tangent about the show River Monsters, but I'm not going to do that because I'm trying to be structured. River Monsters was so good, though, and I used to stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning watching it with my best friend on the phone. We would watch it on our televisions, on our phones, our house phones, because I'm old. But yeah, and Claudia's getting closer and closer, and then Louis gets knocked out, beat up by this lady vampire. And it, like I said, it was so Walking Dead coded because Claudia has this big old rifle, just swings around and starts shooting because she's like, Louis. She didn't scream because she's Claudia and she's like brave and a hero, and I love her. And it's trying to save Louis, and the Revenant runs up on Louis. It was so much. Louis was going through so much. And I'm like, you should listen to Claudia. Other vampires exist because Louis, you literally exist. Why would there not be other vampires? Ugh. Listen to women. Listen to women, Louis. But yeah, and Claudia jumps on the back of the Revenant and rips his eyes out. I was like, this is so good. This is so good. And so like the tension, because you knew something was gonna happen. Or I don't know. I say I have like the Walking Dead brain. Like, I can watch something and I'm like, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Like, the friends you make along the way are not gonna make it to the end. They're gonna die. Especially on like AMC shows. They're not making it, honey. They're not making it out alive. They're not gonna be in season 3. There's not gonna be a swimming pool, you stupid slut. Like, they're not making it. So yeah, ripped his eyes out. Very crazy, very gory. And I'm like, oh, y'all are leaning into horror? I love that. I love that because the first season was very like tragedy, right? Like, tragedy is commonplace. All kinds of diseases, people just slipping away. It was very tragic. And this is like, oh, there's a literal monster, and then the cute monstress ripped his eyes out to save her brother. That's amazing. Like, they could have died. Like if I wonder if that vampire Daciana would have killed Louis if Claudia hadn't been there. Like, if she and her son, the Revenant, would have killed Louis if Claudia wasn't there. We'll never know. But so yeah, Claudia rips his eyes out, and Daciana just kills the Revenant because she's like, he can't hunt if he doesn't have eyes. So she's walking through the woods, dark, kind of misty, walking away. So they follow her back to her castle, and you see all these men laying around that she's been trying to turn. She's been trying to make more vampires because a vampiric life is a lonely life. So she's talking to Claudia, and Claudia's like, we could take you to America. We can be vampires together. We can build a home together. And Daciana, you can just tell she's just saying things to Claudia. She's not going with her. She's not getting on a boat. She's not going with them. And she throws herself into the fire. And we see her throw herself into this fire. And then we see Claudia's eyes and see what she's seeing. And it's so devastating because she looks so filled with joy and hope that she could have something more. She could have another person. She could have someone else to relate to and talk to. And to have it just snatched away, just so devastating. It was so devastating. And at that point, she's just like, well, never mind. She just kind of gives up because at this point, she's been leading the way. Louis doesn't speak any other languages as well as she does. And she's been on this hunt, going off her books and things that she learned while she was in college. And Louis just been along for the ride. And now she's like, okay, Louis, maybe you're right. I'll go with you. It's fine. And it's just so sad to see little Tink Tink be so defeated. And Louis has this beautiful me and you and me and you, you and me. And it's like, you really love Claudia. Because I said somewhere else, I'm a Louis and his siblings girl. Like, his romantic relationships are cool. But I truly love seeing him, probably because that's how I am. I love seeing him with his siblings, specifically his sisters. Him and Paul mean the world to me, though. Don't get it twisted. They mean the world to me. But him and his little sisters mean a lot to me because they mean a lot to him. So seeing him reassure her, if you were the only vampire in the world, that would be enough. Like, but at the same time being like, as long as you're here, I'll never seek the fire. First of all, don't put that on her. Now, don't put that kind of pressure on her because you're still the adult in this situation. You're still the adult in this situation. Not too much on Claudia. She has enough going on. But yeah, and just him being like, it's us. We're gonna survive together. We have each other, and whatever comes, we'll face it together. It's just very beautiful and very lovely, and it makes my heart go pitter patter. I just love it so much, honestly. I heard people were starting with episode 8, and like, it's not a great idea, guys. Like, it's a continuation from season 1. That's why it's episode 8 rather than being like season 2, episode 1. It's like, no, it's episode 8. Also, the little opening card, the role of Claudia will now be played by Delaney Hayes. And I'm like, because it's a play. It's giving play, and I love it. But yeah, watch the first season first. People are having just such wild opinions because they didn't watch the show from season 1. And it's like, this is not that kind of show. You don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. Like, watch season 1, y'all. But yeah, season 2 is already, because for me, the latter half of the book is significantly more entertaining. I'm saying my tea so hard. That is a lie. That is not how I talk. Significantly more entertaining, more interesting than the first half. It's like, oh, Claudia saved the day. Like, come on, Claudia. It's just there's more action, which I was not expecting. I said, oh, bang, bang, shoot 'em up. And it's just more, like I said, it's leaning more into like the horror aspect, which I really appreciate because, like I said, I'm not like a vampire girl. I like my sci-fi stuff, but I like my sci-fi with like some action. Give me a little like, give me a moment. And I really, really appreciate that. And also, I don't think I said this in the first episode. Can't remember. I don't listen to myself. I I did say it. Carol, you eat every time. You always gonna eat. You'll always be famous. Like, you're really her. And I love that so much for you. I love it so much for me because I love watching what you do with costuming. And is my timer going off? Oh no. Put on a show and make it nasty. Why is that how I ended that? Because I was doing my laundry, but also Desert Eagle by Beyonce is really good. Like, it's a bop. It's a really good song, you know? But okay, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I have been going through it. I have a migraine, but I'll feel better. Like, I just need to go to sleep. But yeah, I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Like, subscribe, share, message me on Tumblr. Yeah, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.